Most people have a fear of snakes. Gliding and slithering on the ground, people would usually run in the opposite direction or call for animal control. But did you know there's a species of snake that can fly? We know that sounds a lot scarier, but don't panic. They're not as monstrous as they sound. These curious animals mind their own business more than your neighbor, so no need to be rattled about it if you find one underneath your porch. For today's topic, we'll be sharing with you all we know about the untold secrets of the rare flying snakes. Before we dive into the topic, please give our video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel with notifications turned on so you won't miss any of our new releases. Common info about flying snakes. The flying snakes are known scientifically as Chrysopelia, but they're also otherwise known as gliding snakes. Contrary to their names, these snakes are not really flying. The flying snake is a genus that belongs to the family of Colubridae, the largest snake family, and is considered mildly venomous. Their venom is more potent and deadly towards their prey and other animals, though, and this is not considered venomous to people. These creatures are found mostly in Southeast Asia, particularly Laos, Vietnam, and Cambodia, Maluku, Greater and Lesser Sundas, the Philippines, India, Sri Lanka, and southernmost China. Knowledge about these creatures' behavior in the wild is limited, but researchers have concluded that these snakes are thought to be highly arboreal, meaning they spend more time up in the tree trunks and branches and very rarely go down on the ground. The smallest species of the snake is measured at 2 feet or 0.6 meters at most, while the largest can grow up to 4 feet or 1.2 meters. Diet and prey. Like most snakes, flying snakes are carnivorous creatures that feed on meat. Their diet is highly dependent on their location, but it's a known fact that they eat rodents, lizards, frogs, bats, and a variety of birds. Considered mildly venomous snakes to their prey, their tiny and rear-fixed fangs are harmless to humans. The flying motion explained. Like we said earlier, these creatures don't fly, but rather glide through the air. Since these animals are mostly arboreal, they reach the top by the use of their ridge scales located under their belly. These ridge scales help push against the rough portion of the tree trunks, which enables the snakes to move vertically up a tree. For the flying motion, it's explained precisely by National Geographic. To prepare for takeoff, a flying snake will slither to the end of a branch and dangle in a J shape. It propels itself from the branch with the lower half of its body, forms quickly into an S, and flattens to about twice its normal width, giving its normally round body a concave C shape which can trap air. By undulating back and forth, the snake can actually make turns. Flying snakes are technically better gliders than their more popular mammalian equivalents, the flying squirrels. Scientists have yet to conclude why these snakes do these actions, but it's highly likely they use it to escape from predators and to hunt for prey. The measured speed of a gliding snake is quite fast, measuring 8 to 10 meters per second, and some can even travel great distances with a single glide. The distance traveled by these snakes is dependent on how high they can climb. Studies conducted about flying snakes. Jake Socha of Virginia Tech has studied these creatures for almost a quarter century. The snake looks like it's swimming in the air, Socha says, and when it's swimming, it's undulating. All snakes undulate when they move, and so on the ground, on a tree, in the water, they're creating these side-to-side waves, he further claims. It's not crazy to think that when the snake jumps into the air, the snake goes, "Hey, I'm a snake, I undulate. That's what I should be doing." These creatures can change the shape of their body in order to produce aerodynamic forces, so they can glide in the air. Scientists are hopeful that this research will lead to the design of robots that can glide in the air from one place to another. In a report shared by the Washington Post back in 2010, the Pentagon expressed their interest in studying these creatures more, since it might help scientists figure out how to design a smaller aircraft. A recent report published in 2020 shared how undulation enables gliding in snakes. Headed by Isaac Yeaton at Virginia Tech, the study used 23 high-speed cameras to make what they say is the first continuous, anatomically accurate 3D model of the paradise tree snake in the air. The researchers observed more than 130 live snake glides, marking the animals with infrared reflective tape that allowed them to record specific data about how the animal's body moved in flight. Their findings confirmed their hypothesis that the snakes, which are found in jungles in Southeast Asia, make an undulating motion that stabilizes them while they glide, allowing them to travel further. In a news release in June 2020, they shared their findings on this study. First, the snake jumps, usually by curving its body into a J-loop and springing up and out. As it launches, the snake reconfigures its shape, its muscles shifting to flatten its body out everywhere but the tail. The body becomes the morphing wing that produces lift and drag forces when air flows over it as it accelerates downward under gravity. Species of flying snakes. Golden tree snake. The golden tree snake is the largest species of flying snake, growing to a length of 4 feet. Its scientific name is Chrysopelia ornate, but it is commonly also referred to as ornate flying snake. Despite its name deriving from gold, the creature's color has other variations such as lime green and pure yellow in some parts, while in India, the snake has orange to red markings and small black bars on the dorsum, almost as rich in coloration as the paradise tree snake. Since they're the largest among the bunch, they're also the weakest in air gliding. Paradise tree snake. Another subspecies of the flying snake is the paradise tree snake and is considered among its species as the best in gliding ability. Known scientifically as Chrysopalia paradisae, this type of flying snake is popularly kept as a pet, especially in the European pet trade, and has a length of 3 feet. They're characterized by their black bodies covered in rich green scales with their dorsal area at the base of the neck lined with clusters of red, orange, and yellow-colored scales in the shape of flower petals up to the tail. This color combination is the most popular and well known for this species, but some specimens may exhibit fully green coloration without any bright dorsal markings. Twin-barred tree snake. The smallest of the bunch, the twin-barred tree snake, or banded flying snake, only grows up to a length of 2 feet. Known scientifically as Chrysopalia pelleas, it's characterized by its base color, which is usually black or dark gray, and the snake's whole body is covered with thick red and thin yellow with black bands. These creatures also have cream-colored ventrolateral lines, while the ventrals are pale green. Despite being tiny, this species of snake in general is one of the rarest flying snake species within its range. The twin-barred tree snake is able to move horizontally through the air while gliding, but not as well as the paradise tree snake. Moluccan flying snake. A lesser-studied snake species, the Moluccan flying snake is native to Ambon and Sulawesi in Indonesia. Scientifically known as Chrysopalia rhodopleuron, there has not been any recent study conducted about its species, hence the limited knowledge of their behaviors. Sri Lankan flying snake. And finally, we have the Sri Lankan flying snake, which is a native of Sri Lanka. Scientifically named Chrysopalia taprobonica, not much study has been conducted on this species, like the Moluccan snake, so there's not much info about these species of flying snake. Sightings of flying snakes in urban areas. With humans occupying a large space inland, sometimes we overstep the boundaries set by nature for the animals. As such, we sometimes find ourselves face to face with wild animals, since their territories are overlapping with ours. In the case of flying snakes, some sightings have also been seen in urban areas, particularly the paradise tree snake. The International Union for Conservation of Nature, IUCN, however, listed them under least concern. Listed as least concern in view of its wide distribution, presumed large population, it occurs in a number of protected areas, is tolerant of a degree of habitat modification, exists as an apparently stable population, and is not subject to any major threats. According to the report, the snakes are widely seen in Singapore, but their common habitat is usually mangroves, secondary forests, and parks and gardens. Reptiles are heavily impacted by urbanization because of their low mobility, ground-dwelling nature, and so on. Yet there are still abundant paradise tree snakes in the heavily urbanized Singapore. Logically, the report concluded that the canopy over the parks is a spot they frequented, since not only is it above ground, but it also limits their interactions with humans. As a city, Singapore provides more canopy cover as their potential habitats compared to most cities. The snakes also seem to favor flying over coconut palms, which are also abundant in the country. Not to mention the abundance of tree-dwelling lizards in the city, which is one of its primary foods. And finally, because of their mild venom to humans, they're not seen as a threat and therefore placed as the least concern in their list. So eliminating paradise tree snakes in the city is not necessary. And with that, we're concluding what we know about the untold secrets of the rare flying snakes. We hope you learned a lot from today's video, and before you go, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button and make sure to subscribe to our channel with the notifications turned on for more content. You don't want to miss any of our new releases. Thanks for watching today's video, and we'll see you again next time.